In this video, we go over the pros and cons of buying a new home versus a resale home. Which one is right for you? It's a tough one, especially if you're thinking about moving into the Sacramento area. We have so many new home communities offering incentives, brand new homes, energy efficient, but they also have Mello-Roos. We're going to talk about all this stuff. We're going to talk about the pros and cons. You want to go resale, establish community, bigger kind of space between your homes. I mean, which one is right for you? This is one of the most difficult choices people are running into when they move into the Sacramento area. Because guess what? In the Sacramento area, sometimes a new home is even more affordable than a resale home. And with the current levels of inventory and what people are seeing on the market, new homes are just so popular. But at the same time, they do have their gotchas, and we're going to go over all of those in this video. Let's get into it. Let's get into the show right now. All right, we're talking new homes, we're talking resale homes, we're talking the comparison between both. If you're moving into Sacramento, you're going to know that we got some new home communities here: Elk Grove, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, and everything too. So we're going to talk a little bit about pros and cons of both. Our market's kind of interesting, but we're going to answer some questions first. And like I said, I'm going to have to put on the old glasses first. Okay, not sure if you're live tonight. Of course I'm live, except when I'm sick or there's some kind of holiday around that time. But I was wondering if Shawood will be building in Lincoln. Are there any other new luxury builders to look forward to in 2026 in Lincoln, Rockland, and Folsom? Okay, so here's what I know about Shawood. They have pieces of land in Roseville, and they have pieces of land in Lincoln. Now, the piece of land in Lincoln, or where they're building in Lincoln or going to be building in Lincoln, is not going to be in Bickford. They want to stay away from the special assessments based on what Shawood has told me. So you're looking at Shawood to build first in Roseville and then following that in Lincoln. I honestly think that we need Shawood here in the Sacramento area. I'm super excited for them to be here. I think the only thing is I think they came a little late to the party, in my humble opinion. I would have loved to seen them start up when Russell Ranch is getting started. I would love to see them grab some of that land Lennar got and build some of those homes over there away from the 50 noise. But yeah, they're gonna be building. I think that it's really is. Now, here's one thing that I wish they would have done. If you guys know where the park is in Grant Bay that Woodside was building, I would have thought that would have been the first place that they should have built, because it's in Grant Bay. It's away from everything a little bit too, and it would have been nice. Although Hazel is kind of a little bit of a bear, but yeah. So we're talking about Shawood is going to Roseville, and then we're talking Lincoln, and they're going to be going now. As far as luxury home builders and communities, we're talking about Tim Lewis is going to be building a little bit more, I believe, in Rockland. I think in the Lincoln area, you're talking about Toll Brothers is going to create at least 2 or 3 more communities up in the Bickford area. But yeah, there's going to be more building over there too. New home company and everything too. Anytime I hear about any of that stuff, guys, you guys will be the first ones to know. As far as new Toll Brothers immediate, we're talking about they're going to be building that big bougie 1 acre lot community up in El Dorado Hills sooner than later. Then they're also going to do another one in Rancho Marietta. I know it's odd, but they're going to be building in Rancho Marietta. It's going to be a little bit of a niche community over there too. And they have their community in Rockland that they're building out. That's a little bit like Preserve, in my opinion. No real views, but for all you doctors who are working downtown or whatnot, I've been hearing that community in Rockland, that Toll Brothers community, is the one, because it's right on the 80. You can hop on and you're gone. So I think that's an interesting one as well too. But if you're looking for that luxury build, Shawood, I mean, love me my Toll Brothers, don't get me wrong, but that Shawood build is just amazing how they did that. It's just another level of building that I have not seen before. And I think that we really need that. Now, the other thing too about Shawood that I found very interesting is that if you notice that a lot of the builders kind of tend to build somewhat the same, right? You got the whites, you got the grays, you got all that kind of stuff too. Shawood brought in a whole nother aesthetic, kind of like an earthly aesthetic. It brought in a lot of exposed beams, wood tones, earth tones into the homes. And it spiced up a little bit about the mid-century modern, the atriums in the middle. I would love 2026, 2027, where the new home companies would actually go a little outside the box and create some additional floor plans so that it would wow you. You'd walk in there and you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this is amazing, but it's kind of what I was used to seeing. I love the idea that Shawood came around and they gave you this whoa. Oh my, wow. I just did not expect that. I think builders should set the bar a little higher and at least do 1 or 2 floor plans that, wow you. I think I think that's what's missing in our Sacramento new homes. And I think Shawood brought that to the table. I mean, with Toll Brothers, and I love me my Toll, don't get me wrong, but you know, you're going to walk into a big, huge, you know, glamorous room. There's going to be the walkways. There's going to be the amazing closets and everything too. But I think that there's more out there. I think that it would be nice for them to kind of push it a little bit and show us something that we haven't seen just yet that maybe is in the Los Angeles market and other markets, and they're bringing it here. Shawood's first community that they built was in Temecula. And I think they really found a really good spot in the Sacramento area because we have land and they can build here. So yeah, long-winded, I know, but I love Shawood. I think Shawood is the future as far as if someone wants something a little bit less kind of tracty, a little bit less of like that. I think Shawood is, at least for right now, that home. Now, if you're looking for that like tier of builders, I think you're looking at like, and this is my own humble opinion as far as the luxury kind of market. And you know, it's all up for debate. It's all subjective. Toll Brothers, I think Tim Lewis is there. I think New Home Company is there. I think Shawood is, I mean, it's at the top in my opinion right now. Shawood is the one to beat. I don't know if there's too much that can top Shawood. I think also Anthem, I think their Double S Ranch, I think if they build some more stuff like that too, with like larger pieces of land, I think that that's really going to be amazing. So 2026, 2027, it should be interesting. Now, like I said, I'm always out and about. As you guys have been seeing, I've been spending a lot of time in Rancho, but tomorrow I'm going up to Bigford and everything too. I don't know. So for me, guys, if I hear about it, I will let you guys know straight away. Tomorrow I'm in Folsom. I'm going to be in Arden. We're going to be doing a video over there too. And then after that, I'm going to be in Bickford. And then all weekend, I'll be just cruising around Sacramento. So I talked to a lot of the new home people and the builders and everything too. So if I find out about anything, I'm going to bring it to you straight up. Like not even hesitating. Shawood is building West Roseville. Yes, that will be probably their first one, and then they're going to build in Lincoln. Like I said, they're going to stay away from Bickford, according to them. Glad I made it here tonight. Happy to be here. West Roseville in the house. All right, and we just got someone into an amazing JMC home as well too. So life's good, and I'm a big fan of JMC. All right, what about the Elk Grove area? Right now, the dominant forces in the Elk Grove area are Taylor, and you got New Home Company. Now here's a trick, and I won't mention names, but someone very high up in the Toll Brothers universe lives in Elk Grove, and he's been pitching to get a community by Toll Brothers in Elk Grove. It's just about if they're ready for it or not. I think Elk Grove is definitely ready for it. I moved a lot of people into Drake's, a lot of people into Sawyer's, a lot of people into Elk Grove, and I think they're ready for it. In fact, I think a lot of people are just like waiting for that to happen. So I'd love to see that happen in maybe 2007. I think that'd be great. But yeah, you know, his first name starts with M. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Toll Brothers does. But Elk Grove continues to be one of the most competitive markets in the Sacramento area. Price points keep going higher. If you're someone who's looking for like 550, 650 in Elk Grove, that market is pretty much almost disappeared, especially in the new home area. It's one of those areas that's still with the new homes. It's still competitive there. The other areas like Vineyard with Taylor Morrison, but Elk Grove is hot. It's been that way for a long, long time. I've only seen Elk Grove maybe soft once in maybe like the last 6 years, and that only lasted for about 3 months. All right. Been watching for a long time. Finally closed on a house in Whitney Ranch. Thanks to you. Your online advice was great and helpful resource. Thanks so much. No problem. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy your house. Whitney Ranch, what, $82 HOA. You get a pool, you get the clubhouse, you get the whole 9 yards. You can be taking the kids to school in a golf cart. Whitney Ranch is definitely one of those areas, those areas that I think in 2026. Okay, so here's the thing about Whitney Ranch that I love. They needed a shopping center, right? They needed it because they were going to Lincoln, they were going to Roseville. They got one. You got the Whitney Ranch Retail Center that's right now being built out with a Nugget and everything too. It was a one thing that was kind of a little bit lacking in Whitney Ranch, and they got it. And so for me, I'm super excited because I do think that when you have the shopping there, you're going to have commercial, you're going to have businesses pop up. I think that you're going to see appreciation. I think Whitney Ranch, gorgeous community, love the location. You know, a lot of the houses have views and everything too. So I think that now with this Whitney Ranch Retail Center that's already broke ground last year, that's going to be fully operational, hopefully this year, I think it's going to be great. So I'm excited for people who are in Whitney Ranch, and, you know, one of my favorite communities, bar none. I've done a couple of videos out there. put in at least 15 people in homes in Whitney Ranch as well too, and sold a few. So I like the Whitney Ranch area, and I think that that area is nice. Yeah, it's great. You know, it's a little on the 65 Lincoln-ish, but for me, if I didn't have to commute to maybe, you know, further than like 25 minutes away, I think Whitney Ranch is a rock star community. And I do think that for the Sacramento metro area, an $82 HOA where you get the pool, you get all that stuff too, and the social activities, the community vibe and everything too. I think that that's probably the best bang for your buck HOA in the Sacramento area. I live in Gold River and my HOA is like 350. I don't have a gate. And, you know, my security is very annoying. So we'll leave it at that. But so, you know, I'm excited for you over there, Whitney Ranch. All right, dang it, people. Quit buying houses. We need prices to drop. Just kidding. Congrats, Ivan. Yeah. And, you know, for all you guys looking to buy, for all you guys looking to sell, for all you guys looking to just watch and wait for your moment, hopefully it comes your way. Hopefully everything. I'm sending you positive vibes out there. I mean, whoever you're working with, whatever you're doing, I hope 2026 brings you guys a lot of positive energy. I hope you guys win in the real estate market. And I wish that for everybody. And I'm super grateful you guys tuned into the show. And I love these comments because yes, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to talk to you about everything that's been going on, but this is comments from people who are either moving in, thinking about moving in. And this is the stuff that just makes this channel so awesome, is the fact that there's so many people that are engaging in the content that we're getting a mixed ideas of like, you know, I think this, I think that. And that's what this is all about. This is such a nice forum for someone who maybe is thinking about moving to Sacramento, maybe thinking about selling their home, and they could gauge your comments, and by your comments, they can really understand what the market looks like, even more than myself, you know, standing on my soapbox. So let's go. All right. Any other new luxury new builds in Lincoln coming up? The only building that I know of, I think, is Shawood. And they're coming in, they're going to be building Roseville, and then they're going to be building Lincoln. Toll Brothers is going to dominate Bickford Ranch. I mean, Toll Brothers has what? Another community coming up right in that Bickford Ranch area. It's going to be smaller homes, I think 20 to 200 square foot homes. Those are going to be really nice. And then further on down in Bickford, they're going to have stuff that's going on in acre lots as well too. So Toll Brothers is going to dominate that kind of area for a long time. I think Shawood, like I said, is going to stay away from Bickford. And I do think that was probably a smart move, just because the special assessments, you know, tend to be like, and Mello-Roos HOA and everything too, tend to be close to about $1,000 over there. So one of the things that Shawood and the people at Shawood were telling me is like, we just want to stay away from the special assessments. So as interesting as it, I mean, it could be one of those things where if you wait to Shawood, maybe the price point of the houses or Shawood are more expensive, but the special assessments, if they're lower, could be worth it. So I'm excited. And I think Shawood is really going to give Toll Brothers a run for their money. Now, for you guys out there who don't know what I'm talking about with Shawood, it is like Japanese kind of architecture, wood that's been treated, I think, in the Netherlands. It's fire resistant. I mean, it's just crazy building. If you go to Folsom, check it out, Shawood, and check out the models, and just understand that they're going to have variation of that in West Roseville and then in Lincoln. So I'm excited about that. And I don't know, it's going to be fun. All right. The new homes in the metro Atlanta area all look the same too. So I guess homes aren't built with unique designs anymore in any state. They're just cookie cutter homes. I would say, I wish they weren't. You know, I'm with you guys. I mean, I would love to see like one of my, I mean, I kid you not, if I won the lottery right now too, and I was thinking about developing, I would do a cute little mid-century modern community in Sacramento. I would start doing a little bit more eclectic, you know, designs and everything too. I would do some fun stuff. I think, you know, builders tend to be all bottom line driven, and they see floor plans that have worked and they keep with the same floor plans over and over. But for me, I think that it would be nice to have some different type of designs, at least different types of elevation. Yeah, I know a lot of people like luxury farmhouse, but I mean, you know, it's just, it'd be nice to throw in a couple other ones that were just a little different. I mean, I go to every builder and it's the same thing. Craftsman, traditional, Spanish, Tuscan, farmhouse. It'd be nice to go there and go like, you know, this is like, you know, New York brownstone or something like that, or like Cape Cod. I mean, just give me something a little different. So hopefully, you know, in the years to come, things get a little bit better than that, because you know, if you guys are going to pay a lot of money for your homes, if you're paying for like a $2 million home, Two things I'd love for builders to do. One is to give you a little bit more of a front yard, give you a backyard, of course, but give you a little bit more of a front yard. Cause I think no matter who you go with right now, you're going to have kind of a tiny front yard. And I think that part of the house, if you especially like getting a luxury home, is the idea that you want that, like, parking the car, the U driveway, all that kind of fun stuff. So I think that it'd be nice for them to give you a little bit of that. And I think it'd be nice to give a little bit more of like variation on stuff too. So that's just me. But to be like real with all this stuff as well too, if you've seen contemporary design right now, there's not a lot of like, I mean, everything's straight lined. Everything is like, black hardware. Everything is like straight. Everything is like brown. I mean, grays and whites. It's now turning more towards like wood tones. I wish something would pop a little bit. I'd love to see some color, some additional stuff going on. So hopefully we get that in the Sacramento area. It'd be very, very nice. All right. Thanks for the video. I'm Matt. All right. Shawood is what happens when a builder says, what if we change double just because, for me, Shawood, I like it. They're like the magic 8 ball. They shook it up, they threw it out, and all of a sudden you got some stuff that's making people drool and making people really think to themselves like, wow, if we change some floor plans up, this can be really successful and people can make a splash and people can look at us as a unique luxury builder. I think, whoever thought of that idea to bring that stuff out, good job. Tatiana, good evening. Happy New Year. Let's hope for a productive year ahead. Absolutely productive and everything too. Hopefully you had an amazing New Year, amazing Christmas and all that fun stuff. And yeah, 2026, guys, I'm with that. I'm telling you guys, hopefully you guys have a fantastic year, real estate, life, and everything too. And as we say on this channel, and I'll stick to it another year, time your life. Do not time the market. Even though what we're going to talk about right now are things that are just going to make you kind of probably think, Mark, what are you talking about here? You're making me think that things are happening in this year that they could affect me. So we'll go. All right, maybe in Japan, people like to have a view of the freeway. My only explanation for $2 million home 100 yards away from the freeway. Look, here's the thing. I think Shawood, like I said, I think for their first go in the Sacramento area, I think that location probably wasn't the one they should have picked. I think that it would have been interesting if they would have built somewhere like maybe started in West Roseville, started in Lincoln. But, it is what it is. And that's kind of what happened. So I don't know. For me, at least, it's good that at least people can see the variety and maybe it'll ring a bell or, hit a little bit of a fire underneath some of these other builders to say, man, Shawood's actually just made a big splash out here. And they had the 50 close to them. So maybe if we do something different and we kind of shake it up a little bit and do some new floor plans and some new architecture, maybe it'll work in this market. And I think it will. All right. How are prices for rent and homes in Sacramento? Stable. Austin is dropping. We're dropping a little bit. I think right now what you're noticing in the investment space, and I was actually working with this really nice guy. We were walking around and checking out houses this week, and it's a hard thing for investors right now too in the Sacramento area. It seems like, and I was talking to my buddy Corey about this too, and I was talking about, and I was gonna connect him actually too. He was talking to me and he's like, you know what? And we were both on the same page. You just got to go for units. Units is going to be the closest thing to penciling as far as in this market goes. Single family homes right now are a hard one to do. Duplexes are even a little tough unless you can find a smoking deal. What he's been finding right now in this market that's been working really good for him is he's like industrial space. He said something really interesting for me. Is like, because of all this AI shakeup and everything too, you're looking at a lot of people who are in like, machinists and people who are like in trades that are making a whole lot of money and they need warehouse space. And so what he's saying is that a lot of people right now are pivoting into actually buying industrial spaces, warehouses, with maybe a unit in it. And then all of a sudden he's seeing that that's penciling a whole lot more. In fact, some people are actually making a little bit more money. And so, that's a direction he was talking about going in as well too, which made a lot of sense to me because as we're seeing with AI and everything too, I got contractors, landscapers, I got people who are building machinists and everything too. And they're just living large right now too. But the one thing they need is space. They need space and they need more space and more space to grow. And so what we're seeing is a lot of people in the industrial space based on what Corey's doing, because he does a lot of the commercial stuff, is he's seeing a lot of people are just selling duplexes, selling fourplexes, and they're going right into the industrial space and leasing it out to a lot of these people who are in the trades. So I don't know, it could be something. So it's an interesting kind of point of view. All right, cookie cutter homes are better than Soviet fortified apartment blocks around Sacramento. The city really needs to have a better design review for every new housing project. I'm with you. I would love that if there was a little bit of, a little bit of a shakeup in the design and some of the stuff. The last thing you want to do is go, because I do feel this way a little about Sacramento times. If you're in Roseville, older Roseville, like 80s Roseville, you see the same kind of stuff you see in Folsom. You see the same kind of stuff you see in Elk Grove. Because back then it was still tract homes. I mean, so it would be nice that if we did have a design review on like what different areas were. Because, I always say this on this channel, the lifestyle and the areas are really, really different, like Elk Grove, El Dorado Hills, but the houses tend to be somewhat, they're kind of the same kind of thing. So it'd be nice to see a little shakeup, each kind of area to take on its own personality and everything too. It would be fun to see. All right. Boom. Rent's definitely softening in the mid upper end market. Yep. Boom, boom. Many, many homes in West Roseville and Folsom Ranch sold to investors over the past 4 years who are cash flow negative. How long will they bleed until they sell a lot at a loss? Here's the thing. Okay, now this is what I'm going to tell you, and we're going to go into like the new homes versus resales in a second. But I will tell you this, and this is one of the things I've been telling everybody. And if you guys have worked with us, you're going to know exactly this is something that I preach left and right. If you're someone who's looking to buy a brand new home right now, and you're thinking to yourself, we're going to buy a home and maybe we're going to sell in 2 or 3 years, you are going to be competing against builders. If you buy in Rancho right now and you say to yourself, we're going to be moving out in maybe like 3-4 years or something like this, chances are when you sell your home, you might be competing against the same builder that's selling your home. Now, what does that mean? You're going to have to compete against someone who's like basically, selling with incentives and all this stuff and giving a person a brand new home. So what you're seeing, especially in the Rancho area, is a lot of homes that are 2 years, 3 years old are just sitting. People are losing money out there too, because they're competing against, let's say you bought a house from KHOV, okay, like 3 years ago, and you decide, hey, I'm selling the home, I'm done with it, I'm going to sell it. And you put it on the market, okay, you're competing against KHOV. KHOV's offering what, 3.99s, 4.25, whatever they're offering right now. And who's going to choose your house, over a KHOV house where they have this buy down interest rate and everything too, and it's a brand new home. So I'd say for anyone out there looking to buy a brand new home and your idea is, hey, I'm going to go rent it out, or I'm going to sell it in 2 or 3 years or even 4 years, just understand that there's going to be more builders. That's going to be your competition. So one of the biggest things about people who are buying new homes, if you're buying it as a primary and that's where you're going to be, you love the area, everything about it checks all the boxes, I think you're okay, right? But if you're doing it and you're saying, I'm going to be in something for maybe 2 or 3 years, it could be a little harder to sell than you might think, because I don't see the building stopping. I see like Rancho, it's going to keep going and going and going. West Roseville, going and going and going. I mean, they can create all new areas. I think maybe in West Roseville, the closer you are to West Park, the safer you are as far as resale goes, though. But I mean, like Fittyment, what's Solaire, you got like Amoroso and everything too. I mean, they're going to keep building and building and building. Then Placer One, the same thing. So just understand that if you jump into a new home right now and you plan on selling in a few years, you probably will be competing against new homes that have those new home incentives. So just, my 2 cents, but I say just be careful of that. All right. KB Home in Roseville had a guest bathroom in the living room. Floor plan is a part of our decision making. Floor plan is part of the decision making. I think one of the things for me, I do think that there are levels of builders, and I'm not saying good builders, bad builders, or whatever. I think there are, but I do put a lot more of a priority on floor plans, on what really works for you. I see a lot of people moving into our area, and maybe they were living in like a 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartment or a condo or something. They come here. It's almost like going to Costco when you're hungry, and they're just like, I want that huge house. For me, I'm always telling all our clients, like, it's about flow. It's about lifestyle. Think about what your lifestyle is going to be like. It's about the flow of the floor plan. The floor plan means so much. Like if you're someone who says, you know what, I need a bedroom on the first floor with a bathroom because I got people come in and, like maybe mom's coming in. I need that for sure. Just that's hugely important. If you're someone who says, you know what, when, I want the primary bedroom on the top floor, and I want the kids' rooms all up there as well too, because I want to make sure that we're in the same floor as all the kids. Like, think in terms of floor plan more than anything else. I think floor plan is ideal. I think it's all about looking at a floor plan and thinking to yourself, like, where am I right now in life? But where will I be in like 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? Like, how's that look? Like, do I need a second loft? Why? Well, because, I want the kids to have a space where they can watch their like anime stuff. And downstairs, I need a little peace and quiet while I'm cooking. I mean, think of those type of things. Those things are hugely important. I see a lot of people also, that are maybe just like looking at a house now and they're thinking about starting a family. And I'm like, well, just think about this. If you're going to be staying here 5 to 7 years, how does that look in 5 years, 7 years? Are you going to sell because you want to, or are you going to sell because you have to and you need more space? So just think about this now, because we don't know what prices are going to be like in 5 to 7 years. But the other thing too is, moving is not fun. Moving isn't a fun thing to do. So I think that floor plan is very, very vital. I think it's one of the main things about it. And like I said, a lot of people, when they come out here, they have those eyes where, you're going to Costco, you haven't eaten all day, and then you're just buying everything up. Think realistic. Think about cleaning. Think about like, electricity, air conditioning, heating, and everything too. Think about buying furniture. So those are things that I always tell people to think about when you're looking at it at home, whether it's resale or no. All right, to the next. All right, Pamela. I know I'll start off renting when I move to Sac. Do you recommend I rent a halfplex or apartment? Apartment prices are outrageous and not worth the money. Here's the thing for me. I'd probably rent. It all depends. It depends on your lifestyle. I would say that for me, if I was moving to Sacramento and I was thinking to myself, I want to be here. It depends on how long you want to rent. If it was me and I was thinking I'd want to be here for about 6 months to a year before I start looking, I don't think it matters too much. I would say the most affordable I can possibly get is what I'd probably do myself, because I'd be with that mindset. I want to save a little money. I want to check out the city. I'm going to do that. So I would probably go whatever's the most budget friendly without driving me completely crazy. Apartments, duplexes, depending on how you are too, could be just even like a, next gen suite. A lot of people are renting those out as well too. So that's kind of what I would target. The other thing too is, if you are thinking about renting, what I've seen to be really, really, and they kind of do this off the books a little bit too, but I always tell my clients to also look at the new home builders who are selling to investors, and find out if, there's some investors who bought a property, they're maybe not having a hard time renting in their spot, and maybe you can get a deal out there as well too. Yeah, so that would be my advice. But I think renting might be a good option. I think for me, if I didn't have a good amount of time to get out there and look at a place, and I was, very much like the person who needs to be very much like, I need to know everything and everything too. I think renting, at times can be the best thing to do. It gives you a little breathing room as well too. So that'd be what I'm saying. And in the Pocket area, like you mentioned, I think you can find some nice apartments, some nice duplexes. I think you'll have some nice spots. I love the Pocket, by the way. But also, Pamela, feel free to reach out to me. I have some good rental resources as well too. We're always selling homes and everything too to people who are looking to rent out a bedroom, rent out a halfplex or whatever. And if we have something that might fit for you, we'll definitely put you in touch with them. All right. Which builder in Elk Grove has separate in-law units? I think, Taylor Morrison definitely does. New Home Company definitely does. I don't think Beazer does. I'm not 100% on that. I don't think Tim Lewis does, but I think Taylor for sure, New Home Company for sure. I think those are the two builders that do 100%. They absolutely do. Beazer, I'm not sure if they do. I've never really seen a Beazer with a next gen. And Tim Lewis, I'm not sure if they do it as well. But I do think 100% sure Taylor Morrison. And we got a lot of friends out there. Dr. Lorenzo, he's a rock star out in Taylor. Say hello to him for us. And New Home Company for sure over at Arbor. They definitely got next gen suites as well too. All right. Dun, dun, dun. West Roseville needs a hospital. Yeah, I've been hearing there's going to be another Kaiser coming into the West Roseville area, but I do agree with you. Hopefully, we do get another hospital out there as well too. But here's the thing about West Roseville. I wouldn't worry too much about West Roseville. You got Placer One here, you got West Roseville. Everything's connecting there. You got the Placer Parkway, Roseville. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff happening in the Roseville area. I love the West Roseville area. I think it's really gonna pop. And for me, like I always say, when you see all these new home developments, all this stuff growing, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. If I was someone who's like, a doctor, lawyer, or like professional, and I was going to, or even just starting a business, and I saw this community of like, 10,000 homes, and it was in the middle of nowhere. And there was some, maybe some shopping and everything too. Not saying West Roseville's in the middle of nowhere, but I'm just saying like it's there. The first thing I would do is I'd find a commercial spot and I would rent it and I would do business. So I think when you have that many homes being built in a certain area, commercial, it's just a no-brainer for it to start coming in. So hospital, hopefully, and a lot more commercial coming your way. I'm fairly confident of that. All right, what does Sacramento need to put it over the top and turn it into the next Austin? Anything you can think of, Mark? The A's are moving right. Keep them would be huge. Here's the thing for me. I would love us to get our own NFL team. I know, aggressive. I know it is. Baseball team would be great. I think it would be fun for us to have other concerts. I think it'd be also fun to have other kind of events that happen in the Sacramento area. I think if we had some more arenas and everything too, that were attracting people like, big time artists to come into town, I think that would be great. But here's the thing for me. I think we're going there. I look at Sacramento, I think of our location, I think of our price point, I think about all the growth that we had in 2025, where most areas just stalled. They just held out. They didn't do this. All the stuff that's coming to us right now, the surf park in West Roseville, the new what's called Top Golf coming in North Natomas. You got the indoor MLS soccer stadium coming in, downtown Dover. Then you got the Braden project. Then you got the connector coming in. Then you got all this stuff happening in Placer One. You got Whitney Ranch Retail Center. You got the Bickford Retail Center coming in as well too. I think we're getting there. I think we're going to be growing, and I think we're getting there. It might be at a little bit of a slow pace. It's just because we're building out so much. If it was just Sacramento and Sacramento proper, I think we'd get there a lot quicker. But I mean, think about Folsom, how the growth of Folsom. I mean, you drive to Folsom Ranch, you see UC Davis, an extension. They already built it. It's already going. And then you see Dignity popping in there. Then we got we got a sports center going in Folsom with 3 indoor hockey rinks. I mean, there are crazy things happening in Sacramento. So I think we're going there. We're building, we're growing, we're developing. I think the whole what's called the Riverwalk area is developing and growing. I heard rumors that near the pyramid that there's a big piece of land near the pyramid in West Sacramento. They're thinking about putting in another kind of Kimpton Sawyer hotel. So I think we're there. I just think that if you look at other areas in 2025, there was a drastic decline in projects being canceled and everything too, and we were still going strong. Now, for me, another big one is that supposedly, and I've heard from a lot of people, the 50 projects should be done this year. I'm gonna get on people if it isn't, but at the same time, the 50 projects should be done this year, which will help us as well. So I don't know. For me, I think we're on our way. I love the Sacramento area. I love our growth. I love our location. I think we're still affordable California. I see a lot of people moving in. I like us. I think we're good. Boom. All right. I love West Roseville, but we need a post office and hospital here. There are 2 essential establishments must be a priority to be built. I think it's good. And I think here's another thing too, I will say for a lot of people, you guys do have power, right? With social media, especially more than ever. I mean, for me, if that's how you feel also, I would start a Facebook group. I would start social media. I would start putting pressure on people as well too. If I wanted certain things, that's what I would do. I mean, look at me. I mean, YouTube, social media. I mean, I think it's so much more powerful than to get things done. So that's kind of what I would do. Thank you. No problem, Pamela. And like I said, we're here for you. Whatever you need. Elliott does multi-gen. Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, you are right. Elliott does multi-gen. They're building in Elk Grove, but not, I think they're building in the, 758? I'm not 100% sure, but Elliott is like a mom and pop builder, good builder as well too. All right. Can't wait for our meeting next week. I'm going for a new home. The comps are unbeatable. Look, I'm telling you, West Roseville is good. And, it's just such a, it's so funny. A lot of people are get a little nervous when they go to West Roseville or the Rancho. And I'm just you guys don't even realize the stuff that's coming your way. You don't realize that back in the day, Roseville was just a pile of dirt. Folsom was just a pile of dirt with a prison on it. And look at it now. Our growth potential is just off the charts for me. I think our location is fabulous. I think a lot of people are enjoying snow season, going up to Tahoe. Nikki from my team, oh my God, it was crazy. She went up to Tahoe at like, she left at like 9, skied all day, came back, and we had a meeting at 5. So I don't know. For me, Sacramento's kind of got it all. Does it get a little warm during the summer? Yes, it does, 100%. But you can buy a pool, you can enjoy your pool life, and you can be at your pool at 9 o'clock in the evening enjoying life. So guys, Sacramento is a fun one. And West Roseville is one of those spots you definitely, I mean, I can see it being one of those spots too. You blink and all of a sudden it's going to be West Roseville you can't even get in there anymore. So I like West Roseville. All right. We finally been moving to Sac this month. Your channel has been a great resource of information. I'm glad. Enjoy Sacramento. And guys, here's the thing. Hopefully this channel has helped you guys out. If it has, smash that like button. But this is what I'm here for. And I unpack my week usually. And this is why I like doing this live show. Because it gives you guys current real-time information on what's going on. It gives you a forum where you can ask questions or answer people's questions as well too. Comment and everything too. I think this is so valuable for people looking to move into an area. I wish I had this when I was thinking about moving to Sacramento. But for me, I'm Sacramento's biggest cheerleader. I love the area. I love the people here. The only big mistake I think I made about Sacramento was not moving here sooner. I mean, imagine buying a house in like Los Lagos for like $850 back in the day. Whew, that would have been crazy. All right. Are there any plans to move the dump near Placer One? Move the dump. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Are there any plans to move the dump near Placer One? Always wondered if it was too close to the new houses similar to Antolia. I don't know if there are or not, honestly. I do think though, the more homes that get built, the more things like that are going to be things that people kind of get aware of, and then all of a sudden petition to have things moved. I'm curious about that as well too. I don't know exactly, but with all the houses being built, especially in the Rancho area, Placer One area, West Roseville area, I think some of the gotchas that might be in those areas might be, I mean, if it was me, I would start petition. I would get going. I'd say as soon as the neighbors start getting aware of that stuff, I mean, there is a power in numbers. And for me, if I moved into an area and I saw something that I didn't like or something was there, I would rally the troops. I've seen it happen too. For example, up at Hidden Ridge, up in El Dorado Hills, a lot of the people are there like really up in arms because there's a quick quack that's up there right now. And it's really, really noisy and it's affecting a lot of the tenants up at Hidden Ridge. And so they're talking to legal to see what they can do about shutting it down as well too. And I don't blame them. I paid for $1 million home up there to build. And, I would be so annoyed right now too if I opened up my windows and I heard a bunch of like turbines going at like 6 a.m. So I do think there's power in that stuff. And if you guys ever get into a situation where you need a real estate lawyer, I know at least 3 or 4 of them you can connect with as well too. But that would be me, especially if I put a lot of money in. I plan on being part of that community for a while. I don't know. That would just be me. All right, let's go and do a little bit of the market. All right, guys, again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. All right, let's go. Interest rates. Here we are right here too. And this doesn't mean you can get this rate. This just means this is the direction of where rates are kind of going. So it's kind of stabilized. We're a little bit better than we were. Everyone's like, it's so funny with realtors. Here we go. Hold on. Boom. Video guy Matt to the rescue. No moving the dumps. Antolia dump is actually on 1/3 of the size. It will actually be, I believe Placer dump is less than half the size it'll be. Yeah, that I'll learn a little bit more about, but I'll leave that to video guy Matt. All right, let's do this again. Rates stabilizing. Now, here's the thing. This doesn't mean you can get this rate. This just means that it's been going in this direction. A lot of people, a lot of mortgage professionals, a lot of realtors are going to tell you rates are low. Oh my God, this is the time to buy. You should buy. Time your life. Don't talk the market. Don't get into this whole like idea that, oh my God, I'm missing out. I got to buy now. It's your decision. Think it through. Figure out if the timing is right for you. This is January right now. In the resale market, if you find something you like, it's either going to go quick or it's going to stay on the market a while, and you might have like leverage writing offers. We've got people in the great homes leveraging houses that have been on the market a while. So you got to size up the situation. A lot of the times we work with clients that have the biggest problem in the world. They got good taste. You guys pick the best houses and everyone loves those houses as well too. So I would say for someone who's looking for a deal, you got to wait for a house at least been on the market for like 2 to 3 weeks to go super low. I would say for someone who's been waiting for that one house, and maybe 3 months ago it went like in a day or two, and another house just like it is listed for the same price. It could probably go pretty fast as well too. So you might want to jump on it. But the market right now is still slightly chilly. There is a little movement in the market. I think people are getting a little anxious, and I think this year is going to be interesting. Now, for you guys out there, what are the big things about this year that you should be aware of? Right, number one is Super Bowl. I know it sounds bizarre, but after Super Bowl, it's either going to be, you can either tell right away if it's going to be a good year or it's not. After Super Bowl last year, we could tell that it was going to not be a fantastic market. Now this year, it's going to be interesting. A lot of people are thinking that this year could be the year where rates are going to dip. Why? Bum, bum, bum. May 2026, Jerome Powell steps down as Fed chair. I think it's like the 16th of May or something. I'm not 100% sure. He steps down. Now, this is a big one. Why? A lot of people have felt like he's the one who's been kind of saying, hey, rates aren't doing this and everything too. And they think by replacing him, we might see rates dip. Now, I'm not going to tell you it is. I'm not going to tell you it isn't. I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you that this is going to fuel the bond market one way or the other prior to him stepping down. What does that mean? You might see a lot of people prior to him stepping down buy bonds. What does that do? That brings interest rates down. So for me, that's going to be kind of interesting. So a lot of people are waiting for, that one day where he steps down, and all of a sudden you're going to see a dip. You might actually see the dip prior to him stepping down because it could really, really trigger the bond market. So that's going to be interesting. And I think watching this show, I'm going to have some lenders on during this time, and we're going to analyze exactly what's happening in the bond market, the mortgage, market and everything too. It is going to be very, very, very interesting. Him leaving is going to trigger, and it's going to do something. And so for me, just understand that around May, and what is May for us guys? May is spring market, and that's a big one for Sacramento. So I'm not saying it could be like you should wait. I'm not saying you shouldn't wait. I'm just telling you, like, this is definitely going to be something that is going to be impactful for our market one way or the other. So it's something to stay tuned for. Right. All right. All new listings in 2026 so far have been regulated listings from last year. Same house that sat on the market for $700K last year, relisted this year for $700K. Sellers won't learn. Okay. Video guy Matt, I gotta say, you hit the nail right on the head. I do think so too. I think what I saw for the most part is that a lot of people either relisted already or they're going to relist in spring. I see us maybe March or April. You're going to see a bunch of listings pop on the market. A lot of those listings you will have seen last summer. They're going to be relisted for sure. Now that is the big question. Are the sellers going to say, we're going to list it for the exact same price? Or are they going to hit the market with a little bit more of an aggressive price and say, look, I got to sell it. Let's go. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I can't tell you, we've got about like 4 or 5 listings that are coming out during that time period already. We got the photos and everything ready, and we're going with aggressive pricing. We're going with pricing that's lower than what was listed before. Hopefully that does happen, because I do think you're right. If you see the same stuff hitting the market that was last year, at the same price point, it's going to really, really bum a lot of buyers out. And I think buyers could be just like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm gone. So I think sellers have to be smart. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Because I think that one of the things that really killed our market last year was the fact that buyer demand was slowly dropping right after the Super Bowl. And then compounded on that, you saw sellers that were selling their homes and they were thinking to themselves, demand is actually really, really high. Maybe based on the realtor telling them, oh yeah, people are going to flood the market in March and April. Well, they didn't flood the market last year in March and April. And I think a lot of sellers listed maybe a little higher than they should have. Maybe some of them sitting on 2.75s and they're saying, hey, I'm going to sell my house for $1 million. You might be telling me it's worth 900. I'm only going to be selling my house for $1 million. So I do think when we see a lot of listings flood the market in like March and in April, pricing is going to be the trigger for our summer. Hopefully it's good. I think Jerome Powell stepping down as well too is going to be an interesting one. I think that, good or bad, it's going to definitely be a trigger for our market. What do you guys think? Him stepping down in May, do you guys think that that's going to be hugely impactful for our market or not? Let me know in the comments. Hold on. All right. Boom. Is June a good time to list? Here in Davis, we're so ready to be in a new home in Roseville. Okay, if it's me, this is what I would do. One of the things is we've had a lot of success right now. We sold this one house in Folsom that was listed twice in January. One thing I think a lot of people don't get is the idea also, every house is a little bit different, right? Look at your market. Try to figure out as well too. First of all, I would say find your realtor, find a person listing your home, get the photos done, get the video done, get the marketing plan all laid out where you're ready to go. Don't sell it just yet, but get everything dialed in and perfect. Then look at your market, look at your kind of house, your floor plan, everything too, and kind of size up exactly like, if a house pops on the market, how long does it go? Like, what's the pricing on the house? Like, how are the open houses and everything too? And when you see a pocket of opportunity where there's no other houses like yours on the market, I would say anytime maybe after March 15th to maybe, I don't know, maybe like June, right after 4th of July, like that time, I would say go for it. The sooner the better also, because I know for a lot of people that are moving to like Davis or Sacramento or whatnot, they kind of want to get the school situated. And that's why for me, I'm always a big believer in like end of March, April, May, because a lot of people start looking, they want to get that taken care of. In their perfect dream world, it's like, let's make a move. Let's go find our house. Then let's go on vacation. Let's pack up during summer. And remember, a lot of the enrollments also for the next year happen at the end of the school year. So a lot of people need that address and the mailing, all that stuff too. So a lot of people focus in on like end of March and April. So I think for you, the big thing is size up your area, size up what things are moving for, price per square foot, get the house all dialed in, get some photos, get some, your movie done, get all your video all set to go, get it really, really ready to go. So that way, because you're going to know, I mean, that's what happened in this house in Folsom. This house in Folsom was listed a bunch of other times. And what really killed this house the last time was that Lennar was selling during that time. And there were other houses with similar floor plans that were selling at the same time. So now when we listed it, there wasn't anything that was a single story. There wasn't anything that was competing against it. And I knew there wouldn't be because it was a slower time of the year. So we listed it in 4 days, we put it under contract. So it's all also about timing. So gauge your market and understand exactly what a house like yours, how fast it'll go for, what's a good price it'll go for, and try as best as you can. Because everyone has this one of those things where they're like, that house sold at this price, but our house is way better than that house. Try not to be so like into that. If you can get away from that, you'll have a good idea. Whoever you go to list your house, trust them. I'd say go with aggressive pricing and just go, but you definitely have to trust your listing agent. I'd see a lot of people lose a lot more when they're kind of like, they just don't feel comfortable with them. You've got to have that like comfortable feeling where you trust the person running the show. If you have that comfortable feeling and you have that trust in that person, I think that helps so much when it comes to listing a home. All right. Boom. There's no flood of demand coming this year in Sacramento. The demographics just aren't there. The majority of population growth locally has been international migrants, which is now almost zero. Okay. It'll be interesting. Here's the thing for me. What if, and this is a what if Jerome Powell steps down, and before Jerome Powell steps down, we see rates dip into the 5s? What if there is a surplus of inventory in the new homes? Because there already is some, because they still have not dropped prices enough. The incentives still aren't good enough. What all of a sudden we have surplus, and all of a sudden those prices start dipping as well too? We could see demand really, really pick up. Our market is completely rate driven. There will always be people to buy these houses. Even at right now, there's people that are buying houses. I talked to a bunch of realtors and they're putting people into houses. Not to the level of a crazy market, but there's still people moving into this market. We are completely rate driven. And like I said on my last live, I think if we stay around like, 6.5-ish and everything too this year, I think you could be right. I think we could literally have the exact same year that we had last year. But if something happens and we get into the 5s, I think it could completely be a different ballgame. All right, looking forward to touring houses with you and Nikki this Saturday. Very excited to be moving to the area soon. We're super excited to see you guys, and we already talked to Nikki like 4 times about the tour as well too, and we're making sure you got good weather for this weekend as well too. We told we made sure there was no fog, no rain, so we should be good to go too. Looking forward to it. And one of the things I will tell you guys out there too, if you do work with us, we love what we do. You're going to catch 2 of us, and normally that's kind of how we work. We love what we do. So I'm excited to see you guys, and we got so many areas to hit. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the market. All right, Jerome Powell, as we said, is stepping down now. So let's talk a little bit about pros of buying new construction homes. I did some pretty graphics for you guys. All right, modern designs, yes. And I'll say this, if you look at Folsom, and if you look at some of the older homes in Folsom, you're gonna see tri-levels and stuff like this. One of the things about the modern design of the new homes, open floor plan. If you like the open floor plans, if you like the big kitchens, I mean, they're just great. Energy efficient as well too. Brand new everything. They're customizable. If you want extra bedrooms, sometimes you have flex spaces and everything too. Builder warranties, low maintenance. Now, here's the thing with a lot of new homes too, and this is something that this is something you should also understand. Your home, when you get it, will never be perfect. It just doesn't work that way. So when you're selecting a builder or selecting a crew, just make sure that they're very responsive. You're going to get your house and there's going to be little paint things that you see or whatnot. Just make sure the builder has a good reputation. That crew has a good reputation for being able to fix stuff for you. That's one of the things. Your house will not be perfect. Now, the con of new constructions has always been one of those things where, here, let me see if I can pop this up. Boom. Sometimes you got longer wait times, depending on if you're waiting for a specific house or lot. If you wait and if you want to build from scratch, that's going to cost you more. Limited lots and location. I've seen a lot of people who come towards the tail end of a development and there's only a handful of lots. Usually the best lots get picked out really fast. Upgrades too, as we've all seen, especially Toll Brothers, when you go into a Toll Brothers home and you see a nice price point of $900,000 and then you have to choose your upgrades and finishes, that could be very, very spendy. Ongoing construction. And it's something actually we talked about as well too. It's a pain to be in the middle of a construction zone. So at times what you're going to notice is if you get in at the very beginning of a build, you're going to get nails in your tires. It's going to be a construction zone for a while. So those are kind of things to think about. Now, HOAs and Mello-Roos, those are another things. HOAs, I'd say maybe, I don't know, maybe 30, 25, 30% of the houses here, the new home construction houses probably have HOAs. Everyone, for the most part, except for maybe like a mom and pop builder or select builders, don't have Mello-Roos. But Mello-Roos, you're probably going to encounter in 99% of the communities that are building in the Sacramento area. Mello-Roos is a taxable bond. It can be anywhere from like maybe $250 a month, all the way I've seen it to like close to $1,000. It depends. And Mello-Roos, what is Mello-Roos? Mello-Roos is a taxable bond. What that means in layman's terms is you go in the middle of nowhere and you see these homes and you say to yourself, man, there's like nothing here. Okay, Mello-Roos is basically what's paying for that. Your Mello-Roos, along with everyone else's Mello-Roos, are going to help schools, police departments, fire departments, parks, and everything too. So you're kind of building up this community together, and that's what the Mello-Roos goes toward. Now, I'm not a big fan of Mello-Roos. Back in the day, California took it on. But at the same time, if Mello-Roos weren't part of the equation, then you would literally be sitting in that area with no trees and no anything for a long, long time. So it's there. That's kind of what it does. And Mello-Roos is definitely something that you should kind of like be aware of. Every community is different. If you are looking at communities and you have questions about Mello-Roos specifically, let me know. I have so much knowledge about Mello-Roos and all these communities. I can definitely hook you up. All right. Boom. Are there any advantages, disadvantages with going with a local national new build lenders than purchasing a new, wait, hold on. Sorry about that. This time during my live session, I get tongue tied like crazy. So I apologize. Are there any advantages, disadvantages with going with a local national new build lenders when purchasing your home in SAC, assuming they offer similar rates? Here's a big thing. And you'll probably end up going with the builder's lender because they're going to give you a crazy incentive. And you can only get that incentive if you go with the builder's lender. Now, for me, I always say go with a broker. I'm not a big believer in like the Bank of Americas and the Wells Fargos. I just don't think they're competitive. Maybe if you're a doctor, but for the most part, go with a mortgage broker. Why go with a mortgage broker? Because they have access to almost every single program in the world, as opposed to someone who works for Bank of America that only has access to Bank of America programs. So mortgage broker, and find one that's really good, competitive. Matt the Mortgage Guy, Aaron Klaus, Noel Brownell. We have a bunch that we work with that are rock stars. And see what they can do. But for the most part, what I've been seeing is that even the rock star mortgage brokers in our area can't compete with the builder's lender. Why? Because the builder's lender is going to give you like, hey, we're going to buy down your rate. We're going to give you $20,000, $30,000 towards closing costs. I mean, like they can give you crazy incentives, but you can only get those incentives if you go with the builder's lender. So normally what we do is when we go out with clients, we tell them, do not worry about the pre-approval just yet. Because if you engage with the mortgage broker right off the bat, and then you tell them that you're going with the new homes, it just sets a bad tone. I would say first start with going with the new home that you like. Let's say you go into JMC and you love JMC. That's the home for you. I would say then work on your pre-approval with their lender, because that's probably who you're going to go with, because they're going to say, hey, if you go with our lender, we can get you this incentive, and a mortgage broker probably isn't going to compete against it. But I would give the mortgage broker the opportunity and say, look, we're at JMC. We got pre-approved with their lender. This is what they're offering us. Can you give us a pre-approval and let us know the best you can do as well too? So at least you have a couple things to match up against each other. But for the most part, when we work with people in this type of market, that there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of builders giving some crazy incentives. I mean, 99% of the time, people are going to go with the builder's lender, whether they're like the best lender or whether they're not. They're the ones giving you the money for the buy downs, for like, you know, like money towards closing costs, sometimes throwing in for the solar. So that's kind of what I've seen. Again, I would say, you know, feel out a few people and see what they can do. And also talk to a mortgage broker and say, look, here's the thing. I'm going to go with a new home. I'm going to probably buy a new home. I'm going to definitely get pre-approved with their lender to see what they can do. Can you compete against them? And see what they say. Maybe they can. All right. Rates dipping. Hold on. Does that mean homes are going up? I think that for me, I do think that if rates start to dip into the fives and we see additional demand, I think that, yeah, prices probably will go up. Although here's the thing for me, and this is the big caveat on it, is that because I do feel that in March and April, we are going to get a lot of resale inventory hitting the market. And I do think right now there is a surplus of homes on the market in the new home. I don't know how fast prices are going to go up, because we still have to get rid of all that inventory that's going to hit the market. You're going to see probably March and April, a lot of realtors right now have houses that are waiting to go. And in the new home space, you're going to see a lot of QMI homes, quick move-in homes, that are ready to go as well too. So I think that we have to burn through that inventory before we see prices really kind of go up if interest rates go down. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be one of those things where if interest rates do go down, and if, let's say, for example, like sometime this year, we're like in a 5.5 or 5.4, I do think probably you're going to see prices go up. I mean, it's basically supply and demand. Our market has always been relatively hot. We've always had a very, very good market. Last year, I can't even believe it's last year, but last year at the beginning of the year, I mean, people were looking. Sacramento was the #1 ranked spot on Redfin for people, where people were looking to move into. If you like California, if you like affordable California, if you like the snow, if you like to be close to the Bay Area, if you want a nice house and you want something new, I mean, there's no other spot in California that's building like we are and can give you what we can give you. So I think we're, again, going to be a hot spot. And I think demand is going to be there. All right. Boom. I'm curious, what is the worst case scenario for the Sacramento housing market for this market the first 6 months of 2026? Worst case scenario? Oof. Worst case scenario is that rates start spiking up for some insane reason. Rates all of a sudden completely do a reverse and we go towards 7. Buyers get frustrated again. And then what we're going to see is a surplus of listings on the market, and it's going to completely flip into a buyer's market, even though the buyers probably aren't going to be that interested in buying. I think that that's probably the worst case scenario. Again, I look at it straight up. And if you've seen it for the last few years, I mean, we are so rate driven. In fact, the funny thing is if you look at last year, whenever rates took a little bit of a dip, it became really, really active. I mean, the mortgage applications came in like crazy. The pendings went up as well too. So for me, I think that it's just all rate driven. If we get into the sevens for some reason, oh yeah, you'll be catching me, in and out, working at In-N-Out Burger at that point. It'll be a bad market. So I think that would probably be the worst case scenario. Now, if we get into the fives, I think it's game on for 2026. It's going to be interesting. Now, for me, I think May is interesting. I think for Jerome Powell stepping down, I think that is going to trigger the bond market one way or the other. And I think interest rates are definitely going to be hit. I just don't know what that's going to look like. But I do think that that's something that should be a little bit on your radar if you're very much rate conscious. I do think also watching the Super Bowl, at least the next couple weeks after the Super Bowl, and taking a look at like rates, where they are, and also seeing how fast things are moving in the market, like days on the market. I mean, just go to Zillow and see a house pop on the market on Friday. How long does it take to sell that house? Those things are very much things that you should be very much into if you're thinking about buying or selling your home in our market specifically. Now, if you look at us comparatively towards like a Las Vegas or a Houston, we're still a rock solid market. I mean, if you look at it comparatively in 2025, Sacramento still did against other markets. We did really, really good. So 2026 hopefully is a great year, and hopefully you guys win in this market. All right, boom. We're open to both new and resale homes, so it'd be smart for us to inquire with new builds first and with their lenders before going to see other lenders and delving out into the entire market. I would say here's the thing. First, straight up, go see some new homes, go see some resale homes. What we see more than not is if we can spend a couple of days showing some resale homes, seeing some new homes, usually the client will say, okay, we like this or we don't like that. I mean, usually it's that clear cut. After seeing the best of the new homes, the best of the resale homes, you can kind of put together and say like, you know what, we got to go new homes. It just, this is what we want to do. I mean, it ends up being kind of that obvious. So I would say for the first day, go see some resale, go see new homes. If the light bulb doesn't hit on which decision you want to go, take another day and do the same. But eventually you're going to probably knock one out. You're going to actually go like, you know what? This is how it's probably going to play out. You'll say, you know what? We're going to go for new homes. Now, if something in the resale market comes up that we really, really love, we still might look at it. But at the end of the day, with the inventory levels, it's not really realistic. So I would say go take a look at both. Normally, just gauge your credit, and a lot of people are going to say, before you start looking at houses, make sure you get pre-approved. I get it. But at the same time, if you are kind of on that road to maybe going for a new home, all you're going to do is kind of like, start working with a lender, have them get you pre-approved. And then they're going to say, hey, we might go for a new home. And it could sour the relationship as well too. And I know we're all big boys and girls and we can all take it. You could go that route where you talk to the lender also and just let them know what you're doing. And you might go resale, you might go new. But I have seen lenders that once you say that you're going the new home route, the relationship isn't the same. So I would say go check out some resales, go see new. And if you're still on the fence, you're saying to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm still on the fence after the second day. I don't know which one I want. Maybe, get pre-approved with the mortgage broker. Because if resales are that big of a contender, I mean, you might be wanting to throw in an offer and you need to get pre-approved. All right. Boom. Don't you think that with all this new construction everywhere and around Sacramento, it'll saturate the market with supply and prices will dip? Again, it depends on rates. It depends on rates because I know so many people right now that are priced out of the market because rates were 6.5, 7. They dipped a little bit. People thought they would dip lower. They missed their opportunity. So for me, I do think that if rates go low enough, maybe somewhere in the 5s, I think that we're going to see a bunch of people that were priced out that want to jump back into the market. I also think that the new homes or incentives could even get better because the new home market hasn't been fantastic. And there's a whole bunch of new communities that are set to be building, like Taylor Morrison and Rancho. You got so many other communities that are building as well too. I hopefully what you say does happen though, because it would be nice to see interest rates drop and prices dip. I mean, that would be amazing. I don't see it, but I'll let you know if it does for sure. All right. Worst case scenario, banks finally start to foreclose on thousands of homes in default. Trump does something crazy like ending up work visas, estate furloughs, days of spend. Yeah, I don't want to go scorched earth just yet. SAC market depends on state workers, Bay Area workers, healthcare workers, immigrant. Here's the thing for us, Sacramento's market, hospitals aren't going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, we're building hospitals like crazy. If anything, in a bad market or whatever, hospitals seem to still be pretty solid. And I'm not saying they're bulletproof, but they seem pretty solid. State workers, as far as I know, there's no speed bumps that have happened really with state workers. I could be wrong, but I know a lot of them and they seem to be happy planning on their retirements and everything too. But yeah, you are right. I mean, that's kind of the scorched earth scenario. I don't think it's going to go that bad though. I mean, but like I said, crazy things could happen. All right. That's exactly what happened to us. Saw some resales first day and realized new incentives were just more interesting for us. And that's kind of how it is. Part of what our team does, and you guys have probably been on phones with us before, is we don't sell, we educate. Eventually, here's our belief in the real estate market in general, is that if we educate enough and we answer enough questions and we show you guys enough stuff, you're gonna understand which one works best for you. It isn't a sell thing. And real estate, it's like, you're selling. No, it's just about education, showing you guys this, answering questions, and eventually you're gonna find what you're looking for. I mean, that's kind of how we operate, and it's been working fantastic. And it puts you in control of the decision to either buy resale, buy a new home, rent, or maybe Sacramento's not for you. So I think the education piece of it is absolutely huge for us. And I think for you guys, that should be the main thing you focus on, is just getting out there, sucking up as much data as you possibly can. And I always say this to people, like going to have a nice dinner or nice lunch, reviewing everything, and the decision will present itself. The decision will present itself. And then all of a sudden, after you go through it, go through the pros and cons and everything too, the answer will become crystal clear. And that's what I've seen more than anything with a lot of the clients, a lot of the people we worked with. They find it. And that's the coolest thing in the world too. I love the idea. Sometimes we'll show people houses for like days, weeks, and they just find the house. They just find it. They fall in love with it. That's the house for them. And they just don't want any other house. They're off Zillow. They're done. This is a house for us. And if we can get you there, that's the best feeling in the world. And hopefully we can work with you guys enough to get you to that point. Because again, we don't sell, we just educate. We just answer the questions you guys want answered. And we're there with you every step of the way. All right, boom. Let's go into some of the areas. Now, let's talk a little bit about where are these fantastic new homes being built. All right, so this is kind of a little bit of a map that I drew, bad handwriting and all. El Dorado Hills over here, boom. You got some building happening there. Not as much, but you got that new monster project, East Ridge Village, 749 lots being built on top of Blackstone. That's going to be a big one. Hidden Ridge just sold out. Then in Folsom, what do you got in Folsom coming up? You got another Taylor Morrison that's going to be building out. I think there's still a little bit of KB, Tri-Point Condo, Shawood's over there as well too. Toll Brothers, Regency, Active Community, and then you also have Toll Brothers Preserve as well too. In Rancho, you got so many builders. Here we got another. All right, hold on, boom. Another question. I know you likely don't know the exact answer, but hold on. Sorry about that. Little box keeps popping up. I know you likely don't have the exact number, but what percent of homes sold in Sacramento area are to people who live in Sac rather than people moving in from other areas? Here's the thing. One of the things that makes it hard to gauge that is because new homes aren't put on the MLS. A lot of new homes aren't put on the MLS. So a lot of people out there who are talking about statistics and everything too, they don't really dive deep into the new homes. I would say if you add the new and the resale, I would probably say over 50% easily are people coming into the area. That's what I look at. The majority of the people we work with are people relocating in. I would say in Sacramento, it's hard because a lot of people in Sacramento either have paid off their entire house or they're sitting on 2.75 interest rates and they don't really want to move or have to move. They like their community and everything too, and they're staying put. So I'd say a lot of our market is really, really heavily reliant on people moving in. So for me, I think 50% might be a little low even. I think if you look at it, and not just on, like I said, I mean, we got so many people giving statistics up and they just don't include all the new homes that are being sold. I know straight up, if I talk to my buddy Sam, if I talk to my buddies over at the Dream Team and everything too, they would say a majority of the people they work with buying new homes, I would say the new homes specifically, you're probably looking at least 75% of the people who don't live in the Sacramento area are moving into new homes. So I think we have a lot of traffic coming in from other areas that are moving into new homes specifically. It's funny because I go to these new homes where a lot of my clients have closed the deal, and they're like, "Oh my God, we went for a walk. That person lives over. That person came in from the Bay Area too. That one came in from Atlanta. That one came in from LA." And it's like these entire new home communities are people who didn't even grow up in Sacramento, and everyone there almost feels like they're from other areas. So that would just kind of be my thing. I think we get a lot of traffic from other spots. And I think also the biggest rub for people in Sacramento is, you know, here's the thing. If you grew up in Sacramento, you saw some of these prices back in the day, right? It's hard to get that thing out of your mind. You look at a house in Fair Oaks and you're saying, you know what? I love that house. How much is it selling for? $750. $750? Are you kidding me? 10 years ago, you could have bought that thing for like $150,000. There's no way I'm buying it. So I think it's also a little bit of that as well too, that gets in people's minds, especially in Sacramento. I mean, think about how much prices have gone up. So I think people in Sacramento, for the most part, kind of stay put. It's 2.75s. They bought their house. They maybe put in additions and everything too. But that's just kind of what I've seen more than not. And I could be wrong, but that's kind of the traffic we work with. All right. And keep asking questions. This is fun. All right. Okay. So these are the kind of areas. Let me see if I can boom, boom, boom. All right. So let's see. All right. Ugh, I made that disappear. Okay. So we got Rockland. Rockland's got what's called Tim Lewis building out there. We got some more JMC building out there. We have Anthem building out there. We have KB building out there. Lincoln's got too many to mention at this point. You got like LGI, you got Century over there too. You got KB, I think, still building over there too. You're going to have Shawood eventually building out there too. And Lincoln, they don't like saying, but you know, Lincoln, Loomis, whatever, Bickford Ranch is out there as well too. Then in West Roseville, oof, what do you got out there? You got Tri-Point, Woodside, KB, DR Horton, Richmond American, Woods. You got so many builders out there. I'd say Roseville, West Roseville, and the Rancho area, you at least have 12 to 15 builders building out there. Elk Grove, maybe about 10 different builders. Vineyard, you only have Taylor Morrison building out there right now. West Sacramento, you have a select few builders building out there as well too. But I mean, all that new home building happening in the Sacramento area. So if you are someone coming into the area, whoo, Sacramento is that spot. I don't know if there's any spot, maybe Mountain House, but I think for the most part, there's not an area that's building as many new homes as the Sacramento Metro. If I'm wrong, could be, but I don't think I am. All right. How does it look for people wanting to use crypto to buy houses? Bitcoin is accepted soon. I know lenders who are already dealing with Bitcoin right now. I know a few of them. So I think it's just a matter of time before it's common currency. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it was so funny. Like Bitcoin was like 2 years ago. It was like, are you kidding me? Bitcoin? There's no way. And now it is what it is. All right. Boom. All right, let's go to the next thing. Okay, let's get some questions, and then we are done for the evening. All right, they need to open a Costco near Delta Shores. Yes, they definitely do. Now, they are the West Roseville. There's already a Costco in Roseville, but there's going to be one in West Roseville, and I think that's opening up relatively soon, which is going to be great. So we got Costco. There's like 9 or 10 Costcos right now in Sacramento County. There's a bunch in Placer County as well, too. We love our Costcos here in the Sacramento area. So hopefully there's more developing. And I kid you not, it might sound a little like crazy having that many Costcos in a certain amount of space. But if you go to Costco, parking lot is packed. Every single one of those Costcos. It is just insane. So I think, yeah, Costco is what we do here in Sacramento. Is Mello-Roos a lifetime of the home tax or shorter than what is based on? Honestly, Mello-Roos, I would just count it being there forever. I don't know, between 20 and 40 years sometimes, depending, 25 years. They can add on another bond if they build more things as well too. I would just say that don't plan on it going. It don't set that alarm for like 20 years. Just don't. It's just going to be there for a while. And if it does go away, yes, but just don't count on it going away. And if you hear of any realtor, anyone telling you, oh, don't worry, it'll go away sooner than later, don't believe it. Run fast. Okay. Boom. Who wins? Roseville, Rockland, or Folsom? I love Roseville. I think the price point, I think West Roseville is growing like crazy. I'm a big fan of Roseville. All right. Well, mortgage rates continue to drop in January. What do you think? You're the one who's a better guest than the rest of us. I think that in January probably can plateau a little bit. I think it's gonna be interesting to see after Super Bowl if it dips or not. Again, I think Super Bowl is gonna be an interesting time. I think May for sure is gonna be interesting to see what happens. And by that time, I'm gonna have a few lenders on the show too to give you a little bit of an opinion on it. All right. Wendy, hello, Mark. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Wendy. Hopefully, this is the year that we find you your house and only move into the house if you absolutely love it. You know, that's what I want for all you guys. If you guys are going to be buying a house, fall in love with the house, make it the house that you really, really want. Don't settle. I wouldn't. All right, next one. Boom. Is Bickford Ranch the best place to live in Sacramento? I can't believe I missed this podcast. You guys are great. Love Sam. He's a good friend of mine. Really good guy. I wanted to bring him on the show tonight, except I think he told me he couldn't make it because he was getting a haircut. So hopefully he'll get him on the show in a couple of weeks. So Sam, hopefully your haircut was good. All right. The migration data points to very important because policy shifts can have a huge impact on buyer demand in our area. Video guy Matt, I love it. If also you could send me a link to some of that stuff, I'd love to bring it on the show. Any important data, I'd love to start incorporating into the show as well too. I've been talking to a couple data farms as well to see if we can get some graphs and everything too about the Sacramento area. Also, one thing I want to incorporate into the show as well is I want to do a little bit more outskirts stuff like Grass Valley, Plymouth Lake, Linda. I want to incorporate more. I want to do one show on Davis as well too. I want to do other stuff too because our team services the entire area like that too. I even want to talk about Tahoe. So it'll be a fun year, guys. 2026. How many new homes have many new homes have small yards? Yeah, they do. But there are a lot of new home communities that are coming out that have larger yards. Now, and I sometimes go a little nuts when I see some like yards that are 40, 50 feet because I just don't see them too much. So I might exaggerate a little bit and say, oh my God, look at this yard. But it's still kind of cool for me. I don't think I would go further than a 40 to 50 foot backyard myself. Now, if for some reason I moved to Texas and started selling houses in Texas, I think these would be small little yards. But for what I've seen, if you can get yourself a 30, 40, 50 foot backyard in what they're selling right now in new homes, I think you're doing pretty good. Those are the biggest yards I've been seeing being sold. Now and again, you'll run into like the double S's, or you'll run into like this one lot that maybe is the one everyone's buying for. That's maybe like 70, 80 feet. But for the most part, you're going to see houses with small yards for the most part. Low maintenance. There you go. All right. Best bang for your buck. South Sacramento. Okay. We're talking Delta Shores area, South Sac. I think it is a good bang for your buck over there too. I think the only thing about it is they're not really building too many big homes. I think South Sacramento is an interesting spot. I want to highlight some communities out there as well too. A lot of people have called me up. They said, oh, I'm thinking about buying in South Sacramento because it's close to downtown and everything too. The area still needs to develop a little bit more, but I like South Sacramento. I think the price point too is pretty good over there. All right, boom. I really had not entertained the avenue of building a new home with the builder incentives. It may be, it may be something for me to consider. What do you think? I think maybe. I think there is, for you, Wendy, I'm going to tell you, there is a community in Fair Oaks that we might look into for you as well too. And we'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow. It's an interesting one. It's by Elliott Homes. So we can talk a little bit about that. Fair Oaks, I think, might be your cup of tea. But I think at the end of the day, based on our conversations, you are Gold River. But hey, you never know. All right. The Macon by Keha beats out the Beezer 2-story home. In my opinion, my wife and I looked at the Beezer first, but fell in love with the Macon. They don't have a model for it, for the Macon, but you should try to tour one of those for sale. It looks like they're building at least 3 or 4 of them at minimum. 22752 square feet, 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 3-car tandem garage, under $7K. I just filmed some of Kehov's houses. I was actually so impressed by the Reserve community. We're going to launch some of these this video on Friday, the Reserve. Oof, Kehov completely changed my mind on I know little things like the framing of the house, the window sills, all that stuff too. Like the exposed beams. It was interesting. Yeah. Kehov, I want to go into the Macon. You kind of got me on that one too. I'm going to see if I can do some quick move-ins, some stuff they're building as well too. Kehov has been one of the most friendly builders, bar none, inviting us to film houses. Now, what you're going to notice too is there are some communities that are just anti-realtor going in there and filming. Elliot's like that. Cressley's like it. Lennar's like that as well too. The other thing too, I want you guys to be aware of, and this is a huge one. You're going to see a lot of new home communities, a lot of tours being done by people touting interest rates and everything too. Interest rates and promotions always change. It can change, like, you know, a promotion could be there for 3.99 and next week it could disappear and it could be something else. Also, with new homes, every release, the prices tend to change. That's why in the videos that I drop right now, I'm not really throwing out a lot of pricing. I'm not throwing around like a lot of incentives, because the last thing I want you guys to do is watch one of my videos and it says, oh, they're offering this rate. And then you go there and then you're like, hey, this guy, Mark, I saw a video. He said you guys were offering this rate. And then the people are like, yeah, you know, we're not offering that rate. Because then it kind of weighs bad on my reputation. I don't want to do that. A lot of my house tours are going to be just going through the homes, showing you guys the bedrooms, bathrooms, and giving you a nice tour of the house. And then if you guys want to reach out to our team and say, hey, Mark, I saw this house you done on Beezer. Can you let me know what the price point is for this specific house at the current time right now, and what kind of incentives are running? We will do that groundwork for you. But I do believe that, you know, when people are throwing out these interest rates and everything too, it just is a little deceptive, and I don't want to be a part of it. In 2026, I just don't want to deal with that stuff. So hopefully you guys appreciate the videos I've been running. And on Friday, we got Rancho one last time in Rancho for Kehov. All right, boom. All right, what do we got? All right, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Again, tongue tied. I apologize. All right, 3-bedroom and 3-bath are over or close to $700,000. I'm getting priced out of Roseville before I can even get ready to buy it at the end of the year. I'm currently live in the Bay Area. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. You know, I think you can still probably get something, a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, Richmond American. It's going to be hard because what I noticed too is school districts in Roseville are kind of dictating a lot of the prices as well too. One of the communities you might want to look at as well too, Placer One is having some smoking deals over there too. It's not Roseville, I know, or it kind of Placer One is, but that could be a good community for you to look at. But let us know. I mean, if you have any questions specifically on like 3-bed, 3-baths, there's going to be a lot more building happening as well too. And if you are kind of like waiting for a little bit, you know, I mean, we're going to keep building. There's going to be more competition out there too. And West Roseville's got a lot of land, a lot of building to do. So you'll find what you're looking for. And I don't really think that during the course of this year, unless something crazy happens and we're in the 5s and it's just nuts, I don't see that much of a prices going like that skyrocketing. I think they're going to be a little, I mean, if you saw the last live, other than the National Association of Realtors, everyone else is saying like 1%, 2% increase. It didn't seem to be that drastic. So I think you'll be okay. So, you know, and like I said, if you want to reach out to us now and again and say, what do the prices look like for this? And we'll let you know what communities are selling what, so you have a little bit of a gauge on the market. All right. Seen some info somewhere on West Roseville, 3.85 with 7-year ARM. That sounds great. I'm telling you right now, there are so many incentives in West Roseville, Placer One, Rancho, South Sacramento. It's incentive galore. Like, I mean, you can get stuff, you can get 3-2-1 buy downs, you can get closing costs paid for, solar paid for. There are a lot of incentives. Elk Grove is a little soft on incentives. Vineyard, Taylor Morrison is a little soft on incentives, but everywhere else that I've been seeing, I mean, there's still really, really good incentives going on. And I'm not telling you it's a deal or it's not a deal, but if you're looking for incentives, you're looking for something to help you with the rate, it's definitely there. All right. Are the Mello-Roos at Taylor Morrison and Vineyards? I think they're around $348 a month. They're not as bad. I think they're like $10 or $20 less than Elk Grove, their Elk Grove counterpart, but they're around there too. All right. Do you think new construction is overpriced with respect to resale? I got Pulte. Do you think new construction is overpriced with respect to resale? I got Pulte 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car tandem garage with some decent upgrades, and own solar for $720 right now near Anatolia. Can't shake off. You know, for me, Anatolia is a tough one. You know, it's just hard to find any resales right now that are like, I mean, you could find them. I mean, they're there, but it's like if you go higher than maybe like 750, 760 in resale, it's a hard thing to sell in Anatolia right now. That's just what I've been seeing. The days on the market is crazy. Anatolia is just interesting in general. Like I was telling people earlier, there's so much building happening over there too. If you're trying to resell your home in that area, I mean, unless you do super aggressive pricing and you just want to get rid of the home, it's probably going to sit. So I don't know. I think 720 for what you're paying out there, for what? 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 3 car garage. I, I mean, I don't see that as being bad. I mean, like we sold a house that was what? A single story. It was a Cressley home, and I think it was like 4 bedroom, and we sold it for like over that. So I think you're okay. It's a hard one, but Anatolia is an interesting area. Back in the day, Anatolia, before all this new home building stuff happened, before KHOV kind of hit the market, Anatolia, you couldn't get something there for like under 640. And that was a while ago. But now with KHOV kind of reduced the prices. And then even Cressley was building some like amazing homes. And now Cressley's newest community are like more affordable homes. And then Elliott also is bringing affordable homes. And KHOV has gone to the opposite direction. And now they're a community, they're a community of what's it called, their $500,000 community. They don't have that one anymore. Now they're building higher price points. So I think you might see Anatolia change a little bit in that area to a higher price point sooner than later. I like the area. I think it's nice. I think, the community, the parks, the walkability, the closeness to Folsom. I still like that area. But for me, based on what you said, a Pulte home, which I do like Pulte. I do like their upgrades. I like the price. I don't know. Do you know the Mello-Roos in West Roseville? Oh, it depends. Okay, some places, I would say probably in West Roseville, you're looking around what's called maybe like low threes. No, actually a JMC in Fittyment. Probably okay, depending on where you go. I think in Fittyment, it's in the high twos. And then Amoroso, I think, tends to be the highest in the fours. So it depends on where you're going. Amoroso, I think at this point in time in the West Roseville area, has the highest Mello-Roos. So you're going to be paying anywhere probably between like, I don't know, maybe like 250 to maybe like 450, 460 around there, depending on where in West Roseville you're going. All right, get some more questions. All right. Favorite builder. I saw a stat saying Lennar cut prices on average of 25% nationwide. Do you know why they cut this area, if any? I think Lennar in general, in one aspect, I like the way they operate because I think I'm seeing a lot of builders are clinging on to their inventory and they're like, no, we're not going to sell it that low. Where Lennar gets to a certain point with building and they're just like, no, chop the prices. Let's get rid of it. We've got 5 other communities we're building. Let's go. And I think where you see some builders and they're like clinging on to these houses and they're like, the Elliots, and the Cressleys where they're like, no, we're sticking to our price point. It doesn't make sense to a bottom line. Lennar is such a big company that, they realize their bottom line is being hurt by having this inventory on the market. And they're just willing to like cut prices and move on and just start building other communities. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. All right. Boom. All right. I'll likely hold the house for 5 years, rent it out, sell it, move. Just hope I'll not have a builder competition in 5 years. I think it'd be okay. 5 years should be, 5 years happens a whole lot. I mean, you probably have kids. I have kids. 5 years is like that. I think in 5 years, what you're going to notice is that downtown Dover area is going to be amazing. I think Braden is going to be well underway. I think Folsom's going to be developed and a lot of schools are going to be put in between Folsom and Anatolia. So I think it'd be okay. I wouldn't stress out too much of it. I would enjoy your house. All right. Inspiration Village in West Roseville has affordable Mello-Roos. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think Inspiration Village is not the one in, I think, and I could be completely off, too many new home communities, but I know that JMC in the Fittyman area had one community where the Mello-Roos was in the low, like, I think it was like 250, not 100%. All right. Thank you. Excited for our next Zoom next week. We'll be back from Mexico anytime we need. Sweet. Have fun in Mexico. I'm sure the weather is pretty good there. All right. Thank you. Absolutely, Wendy. We're here for you. Anything you need. All right, let's get to a few more questions and then we're gone for the night. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys spending the time with myself and our audience. If you enjoyed this live broadcast that we do every Wednesday, except for holidays and when I'm sick, smash that like button. I appreciate it. Sam, don't worry about it. And here's the thing, I'll tell you this, there will never be an upsell if you give me a call. There will never be any of that kind of stuff to you. I'm not going to say this, say that. If you ever need just a little real estate therapy, give me a call. You don't even have to tell me who you are. Give me a little bit of information, everything too. If I can help anyone put their mind at ease or give you guys some facts or details on stuff like that, like, I'm okay with that. And even if we ever never do business, I'm totally good with that. If I can help a person out, if I can give you guys a little real estate therapy, I'm more than happy to do it, because if roles were reversed, I'd want someone to hook me up like that. All right. Thanks. And I appreciate you tuning in, man. You guys are rock stars, I tell you. All right. All these new builds have terrible parking, zero land, and no space between neighboring houses. You know, the hardest part with these new homes, because if you see some of the areas that are already built out, some of these other neighborhoods, they are kind of close together, except you just see a lot of foliage. One of the things a lot of these communities don't have is the foliage. So you just see this empty space between houses, and they do feel a little cramped, without trees and everything too. But eventually the trees grow in. I mean, a lot of Sacramento, a lot of these communities in like Citrus Heights, Fair Oaks, they were tract homes. There were communities that were being sold, and all of a sudden they have foliage. They have a little bit of a different paint job here and everything too. And they kind of developed into their own kind of unique houses. So just keep that in mind. All right. Will inventory spike next spring? Interest rates need to go down for folks again, tongue-tied. For folks that have under 4% interest rates currently, they will not sell unless necessary. And this is the biggest problem in our market. This is one of those things also that I think that, you know, if we bring interest rates down like crazy, if, you know, like president's like, oh, we're going to bring them down, it's going to create a bigger problem for our market in the long run. In the short term, yay, all right, where interest rates are down and everyone's living life. But the biggest problem in our market is that we bought so many bonds, and we brought down rates to like 2.75s for veterans, like 2.25, that our market is going to continue reeling from that. That's the biggest wound we've had. So in one aspect or in one thing, like I'm thinking it'd be great for rates to go down to 2.75 again, but it would literally destroy our market, and it would hurt our market so bad right now that I think that if we get into the fives, I think at that point in time, it'll be a good market. You know, I think inventory will start popping up. I think people want to sell their homes because they're going to see a little bit of prices going up. They could sell it for a little bit more. I think it'll be a healthy market. And at the end of the day, for buyers and sellers and everybody, we want a healthy market where buyers feel like they're winning, sellers feel like they're winning, everyone feels like they're winning. Now, guys, if you enjoyed the show, I'm out for the night. Please smash that like button. On Friday, I'm doing a house tour at KHOV. I'm also going to be doing some other videos. I want to do them once a month where I feature like fun things to do in Sacramento. I want to do the cars and coffee. I want to take video cameras out there and showcase some fun things to do in Sacramento for you guys as well too. If you guys want me to do that, let me know in the comments. And guys, have a fantastic 2026. And hopefully in this year of 2026, one way or the other, you win in the Sacramento real estate market. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Buying and selling is stressful. I mean, there are definitely different avenues you can go in, and there's no guarantee. Every property is different, whether you're looking to buy it or sell it. So reach out to our team and we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of selling currently, what your house is valued at, and all that stuff too. There's a link below to schedule a call. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the area, guys, reach out to our team as well. We're working with a lot of people relocating them to the Sacramento area. We absolutely love it. There's a Zoom link below. Set up a time where we can talk to you a little bit about what your needs are. Now, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento. I mean, we always are out and about. So if you're looking at places like El Dorado, Roseville, Rockland, Davis, we got you covered. Just reach out to us. And maybe you don't want to do a Zoom call, so just hit me at my phone number on the banner and we can talk a little Sacramento. Now, guys, one last thing before I go. There's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will help you kind of make a decision if Sacramento is that spot for you and you want to take it to the next stage. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video.